Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 1914 presents Visible by Craig Petty. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another magic product review where my job is to take a look at some of the latest and greatest magic effects to hit the market and let you know what I think so that you guys can decide whether or not it is something you should be adding to your act. Now today I'm going to be reviewing a really cool project, something that I've been looking forward to for a really long time now, by Craig Petty. He actually put together a really cool set of ideas using an invisible deck. Now, if you have no idea what an invisible deck is, you're going to want to check out the link in the description below this video and watch my Gaff Decks 101 video where I talk about the invisible deck. I'm just going to kind of talk about the basics of it, what the deck is, what it does, and kind of some presentation ideas and stuff so you can kind of understand what this is, because I don't want to talk too much about the actual what the invisible deck is in this video. So if you guys have no clue, never heard of an invisible deck before, pause this video, go watch the other one, and then come back to this video, because everything I'm going to talk about in here is going to make a lot more sense. Now, what you're actually going to get inside of here, first of all, look at how cool this tuck box looks, right? And it's nice. It's like a little cardboard box, and it's got the holographic gold lettering and stuff. I don't want to open it because like the product code is like right there, so you can get the download that goes with it. But inside of here, you're going to get two invisible decks. So you get one red and one blue, and they're just ordinary invisible decks. Probably already own one. I'm not 100% sure if there's a download only version of this. That would be kind of cool. I think as of now, you have to purchase the set. But it's worth it anyway because you get two invisible decks, and there's a whole lot you can do with them. So what are you getting with this aside from just the invisible decks themselves? First of all, you're getting a ton of videos. Craig Petty is going to walk you guys through the basics of how to work the invisible deck, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. Before I talk about that, just a couple of announcements though, before I forget, because I almost did forget. If you have not already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you guys know every time I upload a new video. And of course, today's review has been sponsored by the 1914. I'll leave a link in the description below. You guys can go check out their website. They are probably the coolest online magic shop. If you haven't heard of them or if you haven't checked any of their stuff out, I highly recommend you guys go take a look. They got some really cool stuff, and Visible is no exception. Okay, so go check them out. Anyway, so let's get back to this this product here. So inside, you're going to receive a link to a video tutorial that you can watch, and the first thing you're going to get is an introduction video where Craig kind of talks about the history of the invisible deck, what it is, what it does, all of that stuff, right? And then you're going to get the basic invisible deck performance, the one you've probably seen a million times already, right? The one where you take the invisible deck of cards and you shuffle them up, the spectator chooses a card, blah, blah, blah. You already know what it is. So in this video, essentially what Craig does is he takes the tool of the invisible deck and he uses it in a bunch of really clever and creative ways. So he has another effect where it's kind of the basic invisible deck premise, but he calls it Future Craig, right? Where he gets on the phone and he calls himself, and his self tells him what to do, and so he goes through the deck and he takes out a card and flips it over and blah blah blah, and like this whole presentation, right? And then he says, okay, so my future self told me to do this and this and this, and what was the card that you were thinking of? And then they say the card, and he's like, you know, that's funny, that's what future Craig told me. He told me that your card was in the deck and to turn it around and put it back and blah blah blah, and then you go through the deck and then the card is reversed, right? So it's a clever little fun idea based on the original premise, right? So that doesn't change the handling too much. It just adds like a unique story to it. So what you can do is you can take the invisible deck and you can do something like that, where you can take your own kind of presentation, your own fun little story, where Craig kind of goes into some ideas on how to do that and apply it to an invisible deck routine you're already performing, right? Then there's some of the kind of wacky, cheeky, fun, whatever you want to call them, ideas that really take advantage of the makeup of an invisible deck. One of my personal favorites is the Triumph routine. For those of you not familiar, a Triumph is where you take half the cards, you turn them face up, you shuffle them into a face down deck, and you show that all the cards are all mixed. You snap your fingers and you spread through the cards, and now they're all facing the correct way except one reversed card, which is the spectator's chosen card. Now, don't beat me to the punchline here, right? I know you already are thinking in your head like, okay, cool, a triumph with an invisible deck, that should be interesting, right? So what he does is he takes the deck of cards, he turns half face up, half face down, sticks them back together, and puts them inside of a paper bag and shakes the absolute hell out of the paper bag, right? So now the cards are all jumbled up in the bag. He reaches back in, squares up the deck, takes it out, and shows you have face up cards, face down cards. He's going through the whole deck, some cards back to back, some cards face to face, the whole mess, right? Then he sticks the deck back inside the bag, rolls up the bag, so now it's sealed shut, the deck is inside, and he says, I want you to name the card that you're thinking of. They name the card, shakes it again, reaches back in, squares up the cards, takes it out. Now all of the cards are facing the right way except for one card, and the one card that's reversed is the spectator's chosen card. So again, same kind of thing, right? You're using the same basic principle that the invisible deck does, but what you're doing is you're actually using like a unique twist to it, right? Now, I don't want to spoil all of the routines. There's 12 full-length routines in here, from what I can remember, and I'm not counting the basic introduction routine, the basic handling that he teaches. I'm not counting that. There's 12 unique routine ideas inside of this project here. There's an A-can kind of thing. There's a plot where you have the spectator do some stuff to one deck, and then when you open the other deck, the stuff has happened to that deck. So like, for example, they choose 3 cards or 5 cards, I forget exactly how many are chosen, and they turn them face up in the deck, and then they're put back in the deck, and when you open the other deck, the same 3 cards in the same order have appeared in the other deck. There is a couple of like mentalism routines, I guess you can call them, like a prediction kind of idea. There's a celebrity prediction where he has like celebrities' names written on a bunch of different cards, and essentially the spectator names a celebrity and then names a card, and that one card is the only card reversed in the deck, has a celebrity's name on it, and then it's the card that they named too. So it's like kind of a double prediction. There's a confabulation routine on there, which for those of you who don't know what that is, it's essentially multiple predictions all kind of paying off in one reveal, where each reveal is getting bigger and bigger. So like, for example, he tells this little story and he says like, you know, I lost this money playing this game. This was the card that I lost the money to. It was at this time. It was on this day, whatever. And then he goes through the deck, and on the back of the card, all of the predictions match, and then it's the right card that was part of the prediction. So a bunch of cool stuff like that. There's a cards across where you have the small packet of 10 cards here, a small packet of 10 cards there. He has 3 cards chosen, set into this packet, and then they vanish from this packet and they appear in the other one. So lots of cool stuff there, like just different ideas like this, right? Now, I don't want to ruin all of them. Like I said, I want you guys to check out this project because there's a lot of really good work in here. Craig is a good guy. He's a good teacher. He's a good performer. So he's really easy to learn, really easy to follow along. You won't really need too much other than the stuff that comes in here. There is a couple of routine ideas where he introduces outside props that you will need to purchase. But if you don't want to purchase those props, the tricks can still work. You just might have to use like a different method. There's only like 1 or 2 of those, I believe, though. It's not very heavy on the making you buy other stuff. But yeah, the stuff that comes in here is really cool. And as a company, the 1914 is quickly becoming one of my favorite companies. Just really good people to work with, amazing customer service. But anyways, check this out. Really cool stuff, really cool work by some really cool people with a really cool magic company selling it to you. Should you get this? Definitely. Who should get this? Anybody. Whether you're a working professional or you've never touched an invisible deck before in your life, I really think that you have a lot to learn from this. There's some cool presentation ideas out there. There's a lot that you can learn. There's a lot of ideas that you can get to help build up your own acts so that you're not just doing the same stale routines that everyone else is doing, right? And then on top of all that, the tricks are really easy to perform. There's not really any knuckle busters. There's hardly any sleight of hand with any of this because you're using invisible decks. So it's it's practically self-working, right? Once you understand how an invisible deck functions, you don't really have to do anything. It's just all presentation stuff. And the things that you do have to do are things like turning this packet over and doing this and forcing this and, you know, stuff like that. So it's like really easy, a lot of fun to perform. Go grab yourself a visible product with your invisible decks. And like I said, you already get a red and a blue deck in here, and they're bicycle, so they look great. They look like a normal deck of cards. Anyway, that's my review. Now, before I let you guys go, question of the day. What is your favorite thing to do using an invisible deck? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to check out some more magic, visit us at obrienmagic.com and be sure to check out our online magic shop, where you will find the latest and greatest magic books, downloads, and accessories.